There's an old well behind my house in Japan. It's been there for as long as I can remember. My grandparents used to tell me stories about it, warning me to stay away. They said it was cursed. I never believed them, thinking they were just trying to scare me. But now, I know better. It started one summer when my friends and I were looking for something to do. We were tired of playing the same games and exploring the same places. One of my friends, Kenji, suggested we check out the old well. "Come on, it'll be fun," he said. "I've heard there's a ghost that lives down there." We all laughed, but I felt a chill run down my spine. I didn't believe in ghosts, but there was something about the well that always made me uneasy. Still, I didn't want to seem like a coward, so I agreed to go. That evening, just before sunset, we made our way to the well. It was covered in moss and surrounded by overgrown weeds. The stone walls were cracked and crumbling, and the wooden cover was rotting away. Kenji dared me to look inside. I hesitated, but then I walked up to the well and lifted the cover. A foul smell hit me immediately, making me gag. I peered into the darkness, but I couldn't see anything. Kenji handed me a flashlight, and I shone it down into the well. At first, there was nothing but darkness. Then, I saw something moving at the bottom. It was faint, like a shadow, but it was definitely there. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as I tried to make out what it was. "See anything?" Kenji asked, his voice shaky. "I don't know," I replied. "I think I saw something, but it's hard to tell." Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and went out. We all gasped, and I quickly lowered the cover back onto the well. We stood there in silence, too scared to move. Finally, Kenji broke the silence. "Let's get out of here," he said. "This place is giving me the creeps." We ran back to my house, our hearts racing. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the well and the shadow I had seen. I tried to tell myself it was just my imagination, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. The next few days were uneventful, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I started having nightmares about the well. In my dreams, I was falling into the darkness, and the shadow was reaching out for me. I would wake up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding. One night, I woke up to a strange noise. It sounded like someone whispering my name. I sat up in bed and listened. The whispering grew louder, and I realized it was coming from outside. I got out of bed and looked out the window. To my horror, I saw a dark figure standing by the well. It was the shadow. It was real. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The figure turned and looked directly at me, its eyes glowing in the darkness. I backed away from the window, my whole body trembling. The whispering continued, growing louder and more urgent. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't let the shadow come for me. I grabbed my flashlight and ran outside, my heart pounding in my chest. When I reached the well, the figure was gone, but the whispering remained. It seemed to be coming from inside the well. With shaking hands, I lifted the cover and shone the flashlight down into the darkness. The shadow was there, staring up at me with its glowing eyes. It whispered my name over and over, beckoning me to come closer. I knew I couldn't let it pull me in. I had to end this. I grabbed a heavy rock and dropped it into the well. There was a loud splash, followed by a terrible wailing sound. The whispering stopped, and the shadow vanished. I quickly covered the well and ran back to the house. My parents found me outside, shaking and terrified. I told them what had happened, and they believed me. They knew about the curse and decided it was time to do something about it. We had a priest come to our house the next day. He performed a ritual to cleanse the well and banish the shadow. It took several hours, but finally, he declared the well purified. Since then, I haven't seen the shadow again. The nightmares have stopped, and the well no longer gives me the creeps. But I'll never forget that summer and the terror I felt. And I'll never forget the shadow in the well.